What is up, everybody? It is Sunday Fun Day on the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. Yes, this is episode 250, guys, and can you believe the final episode of the Daily Vlog Live? Yes, because tomorrow we begin an exciting new era called VR365. Yeah, still don't have a trailer. Probably, I don't know, I might have just a super basic, bare bones kind of a trailer just to use temporarily, and then a better trailer coming in the future. So that is the hope. But yeah, guys, VR365, it begins tomorrow. So I will not be live streaming from this YouTube channel, and it's going to be a rocky beginning. It's going to be a bit of a transition. There's going to be a transition period, and we're probably going to lose a lot of the people that were on the old channel for a little while. It's going to take a little while, but I figure within a week or two, it'll be back to normal. Everything will be good. Is it safe to resub? No. I would wait. It'll be safe later in the evening Monday. Wait till later in the evening Monday, because right now, I don't know, can I go? Let me see if I can go to the VR365 channel. Hold on a second. I'll see what we got going on the channel right now. You know what I've been doing, man? I can tell you guys, I mean, a lot of you probably don't give a damn about this, but what I've been doing over the last couple of days is basically downloading countless episodes of the Daily Vlog Live using 4K video downloader, downloading these episodes, and then uploading them to the new channel, to the VR365 channel, because the idea is I wanted to have the back catalog. You know, I want to have the back catalog of shows available for somebody that is new, that discovers VR365 at some point in the future. And so if you go ahead and take a look at the show, this will be the new channel starting Monday. I hope everything will work fine. I got to do a little test stream. I'm going to have to do a quick little test stream to make sure it's working good, and I'll probably just delete it or whatever. But as far as I know, we will be streaming live from this channel tomorrow. We've got 152 subscribers. I feel really bad for all of the 152 because you are being bombarded with episodes that are probably showing up like, oh, this is a new episode, but it's really just these old episodes. I'm calling it the VR365 Archives. And so we're up to episode 223 now. I just got both of those in, 222, 221. But see, the thing is, my OCD nature wants me to have every show in numerical order. It's gotta all be in numerical order. Now, so far, I've done these new archive thumbnails. I've done them from episode 211 through 223, but I haven't done these old episodes. Here's one that I did. But basically, we're going to have this new kind of thumbnail for the archives. Don't really know exactly what the thumbnail is going to look like for VR365 for regular episodes. I'll probably be experimenting with that. Not really sure what I'm going to be doing with that. But that is the situation with that channel. So no, I honestly, you guys can wait until Tuesday if you want. Go ahead and subscribe on Tuesday. I'm perfectly fine with that, or wait whenever, whatever you want to do, because I'm trying to get all the episodes up. And so today on Sunday and tomorrow morning before I start streaming at 11 a.m., I want to have every episode up, all the way up to 250. And so I've got a lot of episodes to go. We're at 223, but remember, it's double episodes for a lot of these episodes with the 20-minute version. And also, speaking of the 20-minute version, the 20-minute version is still going to be a part of this show. I've just taken a break because I'm just working on this other stuff. I just don't have time to bother with the 20-minute version right now. But starting tomorrow, I should be back to doing 20-minute versions like normal. And I'll do the 20-minute versions for about you know, for like another 20 episodes and see if it's, you know, is it worth it? Should I keep doing these 20-minute versions? I don't know. I'm kind of torn on whether I should keep doing them or not. But anyway, that is the channel, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's go ahead and bounce back over here to our regular show. Okay, let's see here. Push the button says, what is the new address? It is VR365. It is all one string, VR365 all in a row. But I think now if you do a search for VR space 365, or if you do a search for VR365, I think you're going to find it, because what I'm doing with these archives, I'm doing VR space 365 archives. So that should start showing up on YouTube. But VR365, that is the channel right there. That is how it's going to work. But Push the Button says he's just subscribed, man. I don't know. You're going to get bombarded with like another 42 videos or 45, 46, whatever number of videos it is that I'm going to be adding prior to tomorrow's show. But then after that, it should be all good. So we'll be able to moveon.com. Yeah, baby, moveon.org. Okay, so you know what? I've grabbed a handful of videos that I have not seen before, some new trailers and stuff. So I thought we could run through a couple of these different trailers, check these out real quick. And let's see, one of the first ones I have, let me get it set up over here in this other window. So, okay, here we go. So Super Darts VR. This is coming out on November 8th. Let's go ahead and check this trailer out. It's pretty short.
Wow. Welcome to Super Dart VR. Wonderful. Awesome. Yes. Double. Nice. Yeah. Nice shot. All right, you did it. Yes. Great. Wow. Come on. Triple. Perfect. You win. That was a good game. Super Dart VR.
All right, so this is Super Darts VR. It looks incredibly colorful. It looks absolutely colorful. I kind of like their logo. And I imagine if I'm wearing a VR headset and all this stuff is flashing around and I'm throwing darts and everything is neon and everything is very Tron-like, looks kind of cool. Now, here's the reality, though. Darts is a very, very basic game, especially darts in VR, where you're not actually physically holding something in your hand and you're not physically throwing something. So you're taking your controller, and I guess you're probably pinching two of the buttons and then trying to let go of the buttons. So it's really going to come down to the mechanics of, does it feel good? Does it feel good to hold your dart, throw it, and let it go? And do you feel like there's a good feel for it with the physics and everything? So this is Super Darts VR. And if we go ahead and bounce over here to the Steam page, this is coming on November 8th. The developer is Octomon Company. Never heard of them. Don't know of anything. We don't know how much this is going to cost. That is another critical factor. I really believe that this should probably be $9.99 or less, because it's a dart game, man. How much do you really want to pay for a freaking dart game? Like, darts is relatively low down the echelon of games that you want to play. Like, I'd rather play a bowling game. I'd rather play ping pong, probably. I'd rather play golf. I'd rather play tennis. There's a lot of stuff I would rather do than darts. Now, darts is fun. It's fun, but it's not like the thing that you're really thinking about. You know, darts is like a side bonus for something else. And so I really hope they keep the prices low. But that does look kind of cool. That is Super Darts VR. All right, let's see and check out some other trailer I got. Let's see, what else do we have? There was I grabbed 3 different trailers for 3 different games that I don't really know anything about. Okay, so here's a game called the Lighthouse VR. Let's go ahead and check out this trailer.
When you were in Mommy's tummy, Mommy's sister went to heaven. The church was filled with bright yellow lilies. She looked at me and said she wanted to name you Lily, after the most beautiful flower she ever saw.
Daddy, do you think I'm beautiful too?
Now, you want to talk about production values? Those were some production values. Now, that was relatively amateur trailer, but that doesn't really mean much. That just basically means that the developer decided not to pay a hell of a lot of money to try to make a really nice trailer or have somebody else make a really nice trailer for them. Looks halfway decent. This is coming to Steam. It is a November, I believe it's a November arrival. Or no, maybe it's not a November arrival, but maybe we're just getting this trailer today. But you can go over to the Steam page, the Lighthouse VR Escape Room. The developer is Shadow Knight Studio. You find yourself trapped in a room inside Westcott Manor, which has been abandoned for years. Use the lighthouse light to guide your way out. Get out before the evil lurking on the other side of the door gets you. Yes, another horror game in VR. Do we have millions of these? We absolutely do. And this is another one to add to the list. So it is called the Lighthouse VR. Looks halfway decent. I don't know. That should be coming in the near future. I don't think we have a release date for that one. At least I'm not seeing a release date for it. The Lighthouse VR. No, it doesn't have when it's actually coming out. Okay, but I believe that is a brand new trailer. Now, I'm going to go to another trailer right now that I'm not sure if we've seen this already or not. It's another Blue Entropy Studios games. They do all these different VR Escape the Room games. They did Submerged, Escape the Room, and here's another one. Let's check this one out. Might have seen this already. I don't know. All right, so that one is just a teaser trailer, and that is The Woods VR Escape the Room. But they've done a lot of others. Yeah, The Woods VR Escape the Room. Where are you really trying to escape the room if you're out in the middle of the woods? Unless you're in a tiny little cabin out in the middle of the woods. But there is no Steam page for that. Here is Submerged VR Escape the Room, and if you click on Blue Entropy Studios, they do have a number of other games. The Ruins VR Escape the Room, the Cabin See, the Cabin was one that we saw recently. I saw that trailer recently, and it's actually an old game that's already been out. And a lot of these have already been available. They've been popping out quite a few of them. This one was very recently, just September 6th. Submerged VR Escape the Room. That one is $5. So not sure about the Woods, but I did see these 3 different trailers showing up, so wanted to go through those real quick. All right, let's see what people are talking about over here in chat. Push the Button says, sounds like someone just get killed. Don't know what he's saying about that. Person says, In Death is still the best goddamn thing basically since sliced bread. And you know what? My chat window still off. Jim Hall would be very disappointed by this. My chat window is still having some issues. And it's cut off at the bottom too. I need to push this up here like this. Alrighty here. Got a lot of barking dogs in the background. Apologies for that, because basically my dog is here and there's another new dog that's here. We got to watch my sister-in-law's dog for 4 days, and so she's been bringing over the dog to meet our existing dog, hoping that they'll kind of get along pretty good. And so there's a lot of barking that's going on in the back. You guys probably can't hear it, so it's not a big deal. Okay, Dicky Boy 23 says there are only 3 levels in the demo, and the 3rd level is awesome. When there are several people worshiping the board with the music rocking, I have no idea what game he's talking about, unfortunately. Steve XM says, it's amazing how Anthony does these shows every day. Isn't it amazing? It truly is, especially because a lot of times I will come up and I do these shows, and sometimes I have like really good stories prepared and I feel good about it. And I'm like, yes, I'm excited. I'm going to do a show. I got some great stories to talk about. Or maybe I'll have played a game that was freaking amazing, like Astrobot, and I'll be like, oh my God, I just played the most amazing game. Or maybe I'll have played a game like Serious Sam 3 that I didn't know about for a long time, was super late to the party, and I'll have something to talk about like that. So it is fun sometimes to come into these shows, but other times it is absolutely terrifying, because sometimes I will come on here and literally have jack squat to talk about. And it's dangerous, because when you're doing a live stream, there is no parachute. You know, you're out there with no parachute and you are doing a live show and you're just doing it. You got to hope it's halfway decent. You got to hope that you're not boring the hell out of people. And it's always a big risk if you don't have stuff pre-prepared. And the one thing I will say is, as we move into this new channel and as things relax, I will be able to be much more prepared for new episodes going forward. And I also want to maybe get into experimenting with a little bit of Let's Plays and stuff. Oh, you know, one of the things I can talk about, let me get off this damn trailer. I've been running this same trailer, which basically doesn't show jack squat for a long time. Probably not a good idea. Let's grab a different trailer here. Let's see, what should we try? How about spatial holographic? Don't remember what the hell this trailer might be, but let's put it on. Oh, this is some weird little game thing that you can get. Okay, so rest in peace, VR Game Rankings. Yeah, well, you know, VR Game Rankings, the website ain't going nowhere. And honestly, VR Game Rankings is still the brand. It's still the parent company as far as I'm concerned. VR365 is the name of the show. So it's like if you had Fox News, but then you have a very specific show that is on Fox News. That's a very bad example. But I'm just trying to think of, like, you know, whatever. If you had some kind of network and they had a name for a show, VR365 is the name of the show, but the network is still VR Game Rankings, and it's kind of VR365 presented by VR Game Rankings. And so VR Game Rankings not going anywhere. But yeah, as far as the YouTube channel, yeah, it is kind of the death, and it's the death of the Daily Vlog Live. But that name was bad from the very beginning. I always thought of that name as a very temporary name. The Daily Vlog Live. Welcome, everybody, to the Daily Vlog Live. Tried to make the best of it, you know, as far as the Daily Vlog Live was concerned. And it was a daily vlog, and it was live So, you know, it all made sense. But I think VR333-6666-5555. I think it's a better name. I think VR365 is a shorter name. It's a better name. I kind of did debate, should I call it VR365? And then I was like, nah, VR365. I kind of like VR333-666-5555. So that is VR365. But enough about that. Why don't we bounce over to Road to VR? And you know what they got going on? They got a picture of your boy, Palmer Luckey. And it does seem like if you throw a picture of Palmer Luckey out there, it's going to grab some attention. This guy gets a lot of pub, a lot of publicity, and I got to wonder, does he really deserve all this pub? Does he really deserve all this publicity? The Oculus founder, whenever he speaks, mountains move. People want to know what this guy is talking about. It's like E.F. Hutton. When he talks, people listen. The Oculus founder, Palmer Luckey. And so basically, he's been saying a lot of stuff on his blog, and he's basically saying that free isn't cheap enough, that right now VR is not going to work, and none of the headsets that are currently available are up to par. The software isn't up to par, basically everything. And he's saying engagement is everything, that it doesn't matter the number of headsets sold. The number of headsets sold doesn't matter if customers aren't staying engaged with the product and using it on a consistent basis. You could give a Rift and a PC to every single person in the developed world for free, and the vast majority would cease to use it in a matter of weeks or months. Damn, that is harsh. But you know what? I honestly like that. I like that quote. That is a great quote from Palmer Luckey. I'm actually going to agree with this. He's saying that's an important quote right there. You could give an Oculus Rift and a PC that will run it to every single person in the developed world for free, and the vast majority would cease to use it in a matter of weeks and months. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys say towards that? Because holy smokes, like that is a shot to the bow of PCV. It's a shot to the bow of VR in general. Like, you know, that is a major shot to the bow, and I think people got to realize that. So let's throw our boy Palmer Luckey up on the screen. There he is. He's a really big fan of Magic Leap, of course. We know about that. But what do you guys think about this? That VR gaming, we talked about this on the VR Roundtable episode, and this is probably, I was actually going to mention this on the VR Roundtable episode that I was just on. We were talking about VR going mainstream, and one of the things that I could have said on that show is like, we can dedicate an entire podcast to this. We could literally dedicate an entire podcast, an entire show to what is it that is going to take VR over the hump? What does it require? There's a million different variables you could go down, and one of the variables is price. Price is a variable, but it is true you could just give it away for free, and ultimately if it doesn't engage somebody and they just have it, they own it, and it's sitting on a shelf somewhere and it's not being used, that's not helping anybody, because the ecosystem has to be viable. The ecosystem has to work. Developers have to make games. Lots of people have to buy those games. The developers have to make profits. The publishers have to make profits. The storekeepers, the people that are running the online distribution system, or even brick and mortar or whatever it is, they have to make, the whole ecosystem has to be a thriving, vibrant community. There has to be life. All parts of the ecosystem have to come together. Now, this is a brand new format. This is a brand new medium, and it's a shocking change of pace from where we were prior to this. Prior to this, you could sit back on a couch, you could watch a movie, you could watch a TV show, you could watch a video, you could play a video game, and you could kick back on your couch, and you had to have, there was nothing that you had to put on your face. Now, remember when 3D TVs came out, and 3D TVs were incredible failures. They just didn't work. And I jumped on the 3D TV bandwagon right away as well. I was playing 3D games both via PC and also via my PlayStation 3. I was playing like Wipeout 3D. I was playing, man, what was that one game? It was like MotorStorm Pacific Rift 3D. So I was playing a lot of 3D stuff. But back in the 3D days, if I had a podcast, I would have never gotten up in front of the podcast and said, 3D is a runaway, unstoppable train, and it is going to be successful whether you like it or not. It's not a matter of if it will be successful. It's a matter of when. It is a runaway train that has left the station. I would have never said that about 3D, even back then when I was really into 3D. Because number one, it wasn't good enough. And number two, you are sticking something onto your face. And there is going to be a fraction of people that has absolutely zero interest in sticking something on their head. They just don't want to put anything on their head. And you're going to deal with these people way into the future. And that's why eventually there will be something beyond VR and AR where there's all these little holographic projectors everywhere that's going to beam shit everywhere. Because eventually people aren't going to want to have nothing on their face, no matter how lightweight it is. But my argument is that those kinds of holograms, whenever that's going to happen, that's like 100 years away. And so we need something to bridge the gap. And I think what's going to bridge the gap is going to be VR and AR. And I do believe it is a train that has left the station, but I also believe that right now it is a niche, whatever the hell you want to pronounce it. I think basically it's kind of like tomato, right? Whether I say niche or niche, it doesn't really matter. I kind of like niche now. And I'm going to say it's a niche within a niche within a niche. We are basically the equivalent right now, guys, of triple monitor gamers. We're the equivalent of triple monitor PC gamers. We're the equivalent of people that just play simulators, racing simulators, flying simulators. We're a niche. We are a freaking niche. And at some point, we need to break out into the mainstream. And the question really isn't when are we going to break out into the mainstream? The question is, what is the key ingredient? What really is the key ingredient? Is it field of view? Is it photoreal graphics? Is it incredibly lightweight? Is it a matter of getting it to glasses on our heads? Is it haptic feedback? Is it having the haptics? Is it solving the locomotion conundrum? Full bore solving it? Is it, I mean, there's a million different variables that we can go down the list of all the different variables. One of the things that I talked about on VR Roundtable, let me get off this Palmer Luckey image. I mean, I've been stuck on this for a while. So let me go ahead and grab something random. How about Chiaro montage? Okay. But basically, what was damn, now I lost my train of thought of where I was just going with that topic. But basically, so on VR Roundtable, the episode that I was just on, this is Chiaro and the Elixir of Life, so it's kind of showing the voice actors that are in it. Jeff Kanata happens to be in it, by the way, and it'll show some pictures and then have video and stuff. I should probably get back and play this game a little bit more. I don't think I did this game full justice. I did enjoy Chiaro and the Elixir of Life in the brief amount of time that I was in there, but I did think the price was really high on it. So that is Chiaro. But one of the things I was talking about on today's VR Roundtable episode is I was saying that I think one of the really missing ingredients that we don't have in VR right now is that when you're in VR, you don't see yourself. You don't see your physical body. And it's not a matter of crappy ass inverse kinematics. Inverse kinematics doesn't work, okay? It doesn't trick me at all. The only thing inverse kinematics can do is it can do your forearms. It can do your forearms and your wrist. Like, there are some developers, Ready at Dawn comes to mind, there's others. There are some developers that have learned how to do your wrist and your forearm basically up to your elbow. They've learned how to do that really, really well, and that looks really, really good. And that's as far as we've gotten, because the chest, the legs, your feet, none of it looks close to being accurate, and it doesn't put you into the world. So I'm making this argument, and I don't know, maybe if I went to Facebook Reality Labs and they took me into their back room where they've got a bodysuit that you're tracked by 128 different points of light or something like that, and they've got you tracked perfectly, and they put you in a room and you stand like this, and they have a camera that goes zzz, you know, and it goes all the way around you, and it freaking perfectly 3D scans your human body. Every little scar, every little hair, every little divot or whatever in your hands and your arms, all of that is scanned in. And then I put on the headset and I'm seeing my body and I'm seeing my arms, and it's all perfect and it's all perfectly tracked. Maybe I would try that and I would be like, oh, this is cool, but it's not really changing the game for me. But for some reason, I believe your immersion factor is going to go off the friggin' charts. I believe when we have that, when I'm in VR and I can look down and it looks like I'm looking at this. I'm seeing my body, I'm moving around, I physically occupy space, and it's perfect tracking. Maybe that is the secret ingredient that we don't have, because a lot of people put VR on and it's cool, but even if you have 6 degrees of freedom controllers, you're basically floating hands and a viewpoint. That's pretty much what you are in VR. And I absolutely cannot believe that we don't have an Invisible Man VR game. Like, where the hell is the Invisible Man VR game? Let me look up the Invisible Man. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that we don't have an Invisible Man VR game, because that's what we are. We're the Invisible Man in VR. You know, let me go ahead and switch over here to some. This is the Invisible Man right here. You know, we're a head and hands, and this is what we are. We're the Invisible Man in VR, and I can't believe they haven't made an Invisible Man VR game, because that's essentially what we are. And I think if we add that human body, I think the immersion is going to quadruple, you know, quadruple times 5. So anyway, that's my little rant on that. Okay, Hussein X says even 50% VR immersion is better than 5% version. That is Pancake Gaming. Tom Lloyd says VR AR glasses with 150 to 220 degree FOV will replace our smartphones, our TV sets, and even our workstations. Graphics will become fast enough in a year or 2, maybe 3. Oh, hell no. Hell no. The technology is not going to be there to do what you're talking about in 2 or 3 years, but in 10 years it will. But still, even what you're talking about, Tom Lloyd, you still got to put something on somebody's head, and it's got to be compelling. For somebody to wear something on their head, for somebody to endure putting something on their head, it's got to be really freaking compelling. And I think putting our human bodies into VR, it has to happen. And I don't know how they're going to figure out how to do it. Push the Button says, in VR, you want to be somebody else. I don't want to see my body in VR. Well, look, if they've got your movements tracked perfectly, they can put you into other people's bodies, or you could be wearing whatever kind of clothes or whatever. So I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, sometimes you want to be somebody else, but sometimes you want to be yourself, but in a completely different place, a different time period, a different world. We talked about that today on VR Roundtable as well. This is what we love, man. We love Fallout 4 VR. We love Skyrim. We love being in these worlds where we get completely surrounded. That is what VR is all about. And I want to go to these different worlds, but I would love to see like my real body there. I would love to really feel like I'm really freaking here, and not having my real body there. I believe it's a factor. Lethal Weasel VR says VR is good enough right now. People aren't trying it and rejecting it. People just haven't tried it. No, there is a legit problem, Lethal Weasel VR, and it's what Palmer Luckey is talking about. There are literally a lot of people that have bought PlayStation VRs. They've bought Oculus Rifts. They've bought HTC Vives, and they've used it for a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months, and they've gone back to flat. There are legitimate deserters, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is a travesty, but there are legitimate deserters, and it is really shocking. I'm going to change up this trailer now. Let's see, what can I put on? Hold on a sec. But there are deserters, ladies and gentlemen. There are absolute deserters, and it is scary as scary can get, because people are buying VR products. They're using it for a couple of months and they're putting them away. There are Oculus Rifts that are dusty right now. Okay, there are HTC Vives and PlayStation VRs and Oculus Go's that are sitting on a shelf somewhere and collecting dust, and they haven't been fired up in well over a month. And that is damning. That is really damning. But you know what I think the big factor is there? I think I have an explanation for part of that, and it's not as bad as it might seem initially. My explanation is there's a lot of people that see VR and they're like, oh, that looks super cool. And they see PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye or somebody playing a VR game, and they're like, oh, that looks really cool. And they decide to get VR, and they try some games, and they're like, oh, this is really cool. But then they realize, oh, all my friends are playing Fortnite. All my friends are playing Destiny 2. All my friends are playing Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm the only one out of my entire group of 7 or 8 dudes that I commiserate with all the time that has VR. All of them are playing Fortnite. All of them are playing Red Dead Redemption. All of them are playing Call of Duty, whatever. They're in the pancake world. And that's like my kids. My kids, they've never gotten into VR because they can't get into VR unless all their friends can get into VR as well. And that's a problem in 2 different areas. It's a problem from price, and it's also a problem in that the social connecting of people in VR is not where it needs to be. Like the social networking aspect of it, of multiplayer in VR, is not where it needs to be. But both of those problems are workable, but it's a future situation. But we definitely have people that have tried VR and they've abandoned it because the rest of their group of friends doesn't have VR. And VR by itself is not compelling enough to lock these people into VR. But look at me. I don't care about multiplayer. See, I'm not a multiplayer type guy. I don't care about Fortnite. I don't care about Grand Theft Auto Online. You know, I do kind of care about like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that, but I'm happy in VR. But if I was really into Fortnite and Destiny and all that, and none of my friends had VR, I can see how some people put their VR headset down. So let's go ahead and see what people are talking about over here in chat. Zip On is kind of making the same argument that Steve makes a lot. And what Steve says and what Zip On is saying is we need a bigger stream of compelling games. This is one of the arguments that Steve has. Steve is saying, look, it's not so much that we don't get the big games, it's that we don't get them on a frequent enough basis that every single month you gotta have some big bangers. Every single month you gotta have some really big games that bring the noise. And we don't necessarily have that. In fact, honestly, you look at the month of November is rather light. We went through that video, you know, the games of November, and honestly, the games of November is not really banging. And probably the biggest game in November is a PlayStation VR game. It's Deracine, you know. So we do have Transpose, which is coming very soon, by the way. I got to actually get back into Transpose, and I can't say anything about it. I'm embargoed, but I got to get back into it. I'll tell you that much. But the month of November is kind of weak. And so we're kind of in this situation. We don't have incredible games that are coming on an extremely regular basis. We had it for a while. There was a while there where every month, banger after banger, you know, Oculus was doing that one game a month thing. Killing Floor Incursion, The Mage's Tale, you know, they kept hammering away at that. But Oculus hasn't done that 1 month thing for a long time. And that has kind of hurt a little bit. I Am Rhett says we need Yoga VR 2. Well, actually, what you are bringing up, I Am Rhett's, we do need that, because we can talk about Prawn. Let's talk about Prawn, P-R-O-N. I don't think it's where it needs to be either for this VR AR thing. And I think that's going to be a part of it. I think watching sporting events in VR and AR is going to be a huge part of it. And 5G actually could be very instrumental in that. You know what? I had a 5G trailer somewhere. It was like this goofy Verizon 5G trailer, but I don't think I watched it on this computer. But let's see what people are talking about. So Scion VR says social VR is great. Co-op in From Other Suns was so much fun. Echo Arena, Rec Room, Catan VR, all great social games. Yeah, but they all need to be done better. We've seen some good examples of multiplayer in VR, and honestly, multiplayer in VR is going to be even better than multiplayer on flat. There's just so many other cool things that you can do with multiplayer in VR. I mean, just look at the technology that Facebook was showing off with that deep learning thing, where they were basically recreating your face and your muscle movements. You'll basically have a VR headset or an AR headset that has little cameras that are analyzing the way all your muscles are moving in your face. And then they're going to make a 3D model of your face. So it's not going to be a live camera feed. They're going to basically recreate your face, and they're going to animate it with all these little muscle movements and put you in a 3D avatar where it's like your buddy is going to be standing right next to you in a VR game. Now, it's not going to actually be pure video footage of him, but it's going to be close enough that it's not going to matter. And that's really going to change the game in a major way. But, you know, a lot of this stuff is just going to take time. It's going to take time. Ray Pope says, best social experience I've played is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Bullet Ape says, if you can't fix the problem, sickness, box on head, etc., you need to be able to offset them with something that's compelling enough. I'm not sure any tech advancements deal with this. It's content. John Schubrick says AAA games take multiple years to develop. Yeah, all good points. I mean, everybody in chat is making excellent points. Tom Lloyd says we need more sit-down experiences and useful apps like a virtual workstation, VR telescopes that let you look at real-life telescope streams. King Hell says sporting prawn events. Jim Hall says VR media needs higher resolution. 4K is still too low. John Schubrick, VR sports events like NFL would be fantastic. Imagine watching the Super Bowl in VR. Well, here's the thing. I want to talk about what John Schubrick is talking about right here in regards to sports. And because we're going to talk about the NFL and we're going to talk about VR for just a second here, but all sports in general, let's see if I can find 2D VR football. Yeah, 2D VR football, baby. I really like this game. I think it's a fun game. It's incredibly colorful. I'm a fan of this. But yeah, sporting events have to come to VR. And they have to come to VR in the right kind of way. And what it is, it's going to be volumetric video. It's going to be video. They've got to create video. And I believe Intel has been working hard on this. And Intel might have a pathway for this. And honestly, I should note to self, maybe buy some Intel stock. Because isn't their stock a bit depressed right now? And if Intel has figured out volumetric video, they built this gigantic facility to record things volumetrically. And if they can do that in portable locations, and if NFL games, if NBA games can be filmed with volumetric video, where it's basically taking all this video and it's making like a video pixel out of every little bit of the 3D information that is in this giant 3D thing that is going on. Imagine the NBA Finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers, or, well, now LA Lakers, right, against the Golden State Warriors. Okay, imagine the Western Conference Finals. Okay, the Los Angeles Lakers against the Golden State Warriors, but where it was filmed with volumetric video capturing every inch of the action, so that you in VR, like LeBron is at the free throw line and he's shooting free throws and everybody's lined up on the free throw line, and you can basically walk out there and you could be right behind LeBron. You could stand over here. You see the sweat dripping as he's bouncing the ball, getting ready to, you see the referee right there. That is going to change sports viewing like we've never dreamed of. Volumetric, legit volumetric video. In fact, Alvin Wang Grayland has talked about this in a recent speech. He was talking about 6DoF Lundgren video. He was saying he's seen 6DoF video. Like, basically, people behind the scenes have seen some of this volumetric video. I just think we haven't seen it really, and we haven't seen an example of it because we don't have the VR technology that's going to work. I think you have to have 5G. I think you need a 5G receiver on your headset so that you're sending the 5G video stream, because it's too much information. It's too much information to get to a VR headset in a normal capacity, and it has to be streamed. It's too much information. And so volumetric video, baby, 5G, baby. So I don't know. It's something to think about. It's something to definitely think about. Okay, Hybrid Energy says, thing is, watching the NFL is a family friends event on the couch with chips, beer, and yelling. You want to sit in an Oculus Go alone watching NFL? But dude, if you're right there, like in the backfield, if you're lining up right next to the wide receiver and you're seeing him there, if you're right behind Russell Wilson, the quarterback, like you're right behind the running back, I don't give a damn if my friends ain't there to see it. I'm going to be watching some incredible ass football game. Dude, imagine when the teams are at, like, they're on the 10-yard line, they're about to score a touchdown. You could stand in the middle of the end zone and just watch the action unfold, and you're standing in the middle of the end zone. People aren't going to give a damn whether their friends or family are watching it as well. But, with social VR, you're going to be able to watch that game with your buddy that lives in Idaho, okay? And you're going to have his human avatar standing in the end zone right with you. And you're both going to be standing in the end zone. You're going to be like, dude, I think Drew Brees is going to pass it over to that guy. He's like, no, man, Drew Brees is going to scramble and toss it over to this guy. And you're like standing in the end zone. You're going to be watching this take place live. Now, the unfortunate thing is it's about 10 years away. So does somebody have instructions for a time machine? Because this is probably like 10 years away. Rory Bayhan is checking in. Hello from Ireland. The brother and I gotta go. Any idea how to watch TV series together? Oculus only got Facebook video. Also, thank you for making me a kid of wonder again. I'm an old grit, 45-year-old. Yeah, man. Hey, a lot of us are in the middle ages. A lot of us are a little bit older, and we've had regular gaming for so long, and we've dreamed of this VR future. Like, when we were kids, this was like a far-flung futuristic dream. This was something that you would see in a movie and wonder, I wonder if that shit is really possible. And it actually is possible, man. I know people that died like 10 years ago, never got to see this future. How awesome is it that we are alive in the year of our Lord, 2018, and we're able to see this incredible stuff that is going on. And here I am kind of whining about the mass market hasn't joined us along with this, and I'm worried. Why am I worried? There's no reason to be worried, because we are enjoying the benefits of just an incredible thing, man. We've all got VR. We've discovered it. We're just way ahead of everybody else. We're like the first people that started watching HD TV, and now everybody watches HD TV. We're just a little bit early to the party, but good to have you. Good to have you checking in from Ireland. Cedric Harris 12 says, why can't they make VR headsets from the start able to be used with any AAA game? When they're making the game, it should be a standard. Well, yeah, it would be nice. I mean, there's got to be some type of game engine, like, I don't know, maybe like Unreal Engine 4, that could somehow take any game that is running in a first-person mode and convert it to VR. But it's quite possible that the rights holders to those games don't want that to happen because of possible liability issues. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it is, but I'm pretty sure you can do something with that in terms of if it's a first-person game and it's running in Unreal Engine 4, I would think that Epic Games would have the knowledge to create some type of special VorpX kind of a mode for any first-person game running in the Unreal Engine 4. Now, maybe it wouldn't work flawlessly, and maybe sometimes it would make you really sick, but I imagine they would have the option to be able to do that. But yeah, we have not seen that yet. Push the Button says, I'm 55 years old, but he is in the building and he is playing VR and he is seeing the future unfold before his very eyes. I mean, it is an awesome time to be alive. Absolutely. Ray Pope says, VR video looks great, but holding your head in the same position for an hour and a half kills it. Yeah. I mean, are you talking about like the Oculus Go or something where you don't have 6 degrees of freedom? Because you don't always have to, I mean, yeah, well, or are you saying, oh, you're just saying VR video in general because you can't move around right now in VR video. Yeah, you pretty much can't. So we do need volumetric video. Watching movies live with 360 16K video on a portable set of VR Air glasses with 6 DOF will be available May 17th, 2032. I hope it's not that long. I don't really need, like, if they bring me the NFL in VR or the NBA in VR, I'd be fine with 180. I'd be fine if they did 180 and got that 180 looking real good. I'd be perfectly fine with 180 for right about now. But yeah, guys, so it is 12 noon. Let's see. We could take a quick look at some of the subreddits real quick and see if there's any last second stories going on. I kind of got to hop out of here for a couple of reasons. Number one, my stomach is starting to growl. I am starting to get very hungry. Dude, I was up hella early today. This is daylight savings, okay? It's daylight savings, and so the clocks have changed. This is going to be an epically long day for me. And so it's like a new time and all of that. So daylight savings time. And I've been working on trying to get all my back episodes onto the new channel and making new thumbnails and stuff. And oh man, it's just got a lot of work ahead of me. So I do got to get out of here pretty soon. But I thought we could just check the Vive subreddit real quick. Let's see what's going on over here. Only in Wardust can you do stuff like this. And it's probably some little video. Okay, a little Twitch video. Never mind. Not going to click on it. Yeah, Wardust is pretty good. Remember Iron Rain? Been over a year since we have shown anything off, but we are still around. Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. I'm going to have to mute this. Let me mute this. Iron Rain. It sounds vaguely familiar. I'm pretty sure I saw this trailer a long time ago. Let me just skip ahead a bit and see what it looks like. Did I see this? Looks kind of cool. Yeah, Iron Rain. I mean, I could go ahead and grab this. We could I'll grab this real quick. Just a second, peeps. Okay, so that's Iron Rain. I'll just get the good version and then we can check that out real quick. Let's see. Beta testers for HTC Vive rifle stock needed. First-person games like Onward, Pavlov, etc. Best sniper game for VR, but there's only one comment here. Black Friday, is there a chance, you think? What about that? Do you guys think there's going to be any kind of sales for any of the various VR headsets? Like, do you think Oculus is going to have a deal? Maybe $350 for the Rift? Do you think maybe the Samsung Odyssey Plus might go down to $399 for Black Friday? Would that tempt you? What about some of the other mixed reality headsets? PlayStation VR already has some absolutely incredible deals for Black Friday. Do you think the HTC Vive Pro will be on sale for Black Friday? You know, lots of possibilities here. Okay, so this game, where is it? It's called Iron Rain. Let's see, where do I have Iron Rain? Okay, so this game, Iron Rain, the trailer is in 720p, so I got to rescale this. Let's go ahead and check this out again. Belt for virtual reality. Alrighty, so that is Iron Rain, and it does appear to be a multiplayer only game, and one of the developers is describing it as a more sluggish Hawken or a light mech warrior in terms of speed. That there will be multiplayer, but that there is no campaign, and it's basically a two-man team that is working on the game. So that is Iron Rain, another game to check out. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Let me go ahead and grab my outro trailer. And that's basically it as far as I know for the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. Let me go ahead and fix my trailer here after that little 720p video. I don't know, you know, maybe eventually I'll do something else on this channel. I might be able to do some like experimental things on this channel. Before bringing it over to VR365 or whatever. But basically, yeah, we are moving. New channel, new location, VR365. We start tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Remember, there is this daylight savings. So if you're in the UK or something, it's going to be like an hour earlier than it normally is. Because I think you guys went back like a week ago or whatever, right? So anyway, that'll do it. And don't subscribe to this channel. And don't subscribe to VR365 either. Maybe wait until Tuesday because I am bombarding that channel with new videos. Apologies for that. But everything should be set pretty soon. I'm excited about the rebirth VR365. It is a bright new future. And I will see you guys over there. Take it easy. Later.